I have another story today, and it's about a bull, and his name is Ferdinand. The story of Ferdinand the Bull. And I used to read this story to Wendy when she was a little girl. It was written by Monroe Leaf, and a man named Robert Lawson drew the pictures. Once upon a time in Spain, already, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. Can you see him there? He looks like he's talking to a butterfly. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. There they are, having a good time. Do you think Ferdinand did that? We'll have to see. But not Ferdinand. Look at him. He's walking away all by himself. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. Look at all those flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. I've never seen a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in the shade all day and smell the flowers. Matilda and Henry, have you smelled flowers? They all have different smells. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. And there's his mama looking at him. She was really worried about him, but she said, "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just quietly sit and smell the flowers." There he is talking to Mama. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit and be happy. So his mama knew he was happy. Oh, there she is. It even says mother on her bell. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. There he is. Wow. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. And that's a town or a city in Spain. Do you think the bulls can read that sign? I don't know. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. Can you see him up there? There he is, up there. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid, and they are really funny. They make you laugh when you just look at them. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so that the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and would pick them to fight in the bullfight. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. There he goes. He's going to go sit down and let them run around. Oh, there are a lot of butterflies there. Well, guess what? He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice, cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. And look at that bee. Uh-oh. What do you think's going to happen? Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him, and that's just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Look at Ferdinand's face. Can you see his eyes? The bee stung him. Wow, did it hurt. Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. It hurt so much. The 5 men saw him, and they shouted with joy. Here was the largest, fiercest bull of all. Just the one for the bullfight in Madrid. So there they up in the corner, and he's running around. So they took him away for the bullfight that day in a cart. And there's the cart. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing. There's a man up there yelling out his window. Everybody's excited. And all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring, and look at this horse leading the parade. First came the banderilleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. They're trying to make him mad. Then next came the picaderos, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Oh, they're trying to make Ferdinand mad. I think that's too bad. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Look at him. He thinks he's hot stuff. Can you see his sword back there? Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? It's Ferdinand, and there he is, peeking out. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandideros were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Look at them, they're all afraid. Do they need to be afraid? Let's see, it's hiding in here. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick with his horns around. Stick all around it, and these are the people watching. And there's the matador, and there's Ferdinand right down here. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, guess what he saw? The flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair. And he just sat down and quietly smelled. There he is. I've never seen a bull sit like that. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the bandideros were mad, and the picadors were even madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. Look at he's stomping his feet. So they had to take Ferdinand home. There he is back in the cart. He's going back home. And for all I know, he's sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He is very happy. That's a very nice bull.